What's going on, y'all? Hey, we back, and today we're doing something a little, well, not a little different. We're gonna spend an hour on this live stream like we try to do every day. I am still practicing on my live streams, and today we're talking about relationships and relationship advice. And I went on TikTok and I found me some clips that we're going to be sharing and showing. And one reason why I talk about this, hold 1 second. So today I just started back to my normal routine after 2 weeks. I did my yard work and I got to the gym. So I'm just getting back from my swim. I'm saying I am him. Stay tuned because here we go. All right. So I deal with a lot of men in the barbershop, and as men, we have relationship problems and thoughts just like women do. So I try to give the men who sit in my chair the best information that I have to give, but I am a person who goes through situations just like everybody else. So I'm saying I am not perfect in situation, but I feel like one thing that is helpful is when you talk to others and you realize that you're not the only one going through things. So I give men advice, but I'm sure this advice could be for both sides. Since I am a man, I can only think about it. Well, I'm not gonna say only think about it. It's easier for me to think about it and come from a man's perspective when I talk about it. So we're gonna get into some videos. I have some clips that we're gonna be playing, and I will be giving my thoughts. And feel free to leave a comment if you have any thoughts that you would like to share on this matter. But before I get into that, let's talk about some of the advice that I give to men. One thing that I tell my clients is they should always be working to be their best self, the best person you can be at all times. A lot of times in relationships, especially, let's talk about, I have a lot of clients who are, well, I'm not gonna say a lot. I have a few clients. I've talked to several people here recently who seem to be going through the same situations where they don't understand why their relationship has changed. And now the person who they thought was there with them for life is now choosing to not participate the way that they used to. So the advice that I give, now it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you're in. I always say people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. Even if you're married, the vows say till death do us part. That means that there should be preparation that one day a parting should come. That means one day preparation for a parting should come. That means you should always place yourself at the best, in the best situation to be ready in case a situation should arise where you are now forced to do things by yourself. What I mean by that, I'm saying be the best you, keep yourself in shape. That's why I stay in the fitness that I do. I'm just coming from the gym right now. That's why I'm running a little late. I'm saying keep your finances in order. I'm saying show up as the best you and not so much focus on how the other person is showing up. If you show up as the best you, no matter what, I'm saying if you're not getting what you want out of the situation and you still show up as the best you, you know you're doing all that you can. And this is what preparation for a parting means to me. When I say that, I hate to tell people to be ready, but what I'm saying is it is something that we all have to learn how to deal with at some point in our lives. I have an uncle. I have an aunt as well, but she's deceased now. And so after they've been married for 50 years, which I'm going to see if he'll want to come on here and talk with me one day, because he is a person who I listen to quite regularly. Whenever he comes to town and he talks to me, he gives me more advanced relationship advice than I am capable of giving, because he walked out his obligation or his commitment to the end result, which is until death do you part. Now, what I will say is he still had to go through the loss or the leaving of his partner. It doesn't matter how you view it. At some point in time, people are in your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And either your lifetime ends or theirs, but one way or another, that will come. So the advice that I give to men, like I keep saying, Have your finances in order, keep your fitness in order, and be your best self at all times. Mental health, physical health, spiritual health, all those things. As men, I believe that as men, we are supposed to be leaders. And if you are a leader, then you are going to position yourself to have the best value. You have to, as men, you always have to bring value to a relationship or you will be replaced. A man who does not provide value does not carry far. I will say that. How you provide value is by building up your self-worth, understanding yourself, building up your self-worth and your knowledge and understanding, and then you position yourself to be the best person you can be. Financially, I believe that most people who are in situations where they do not want to be in, they stay there because of financial obligations. So what I'm saying is you should want the person who's across from you to be with you because they choose to be with you, not because they have to be with you. So if you are setting up your situation so that the other person is there because they have to depend on you, then I'm saying that is incorrect, because as soon as their situation changes and they don't have to be there anymore, will they choose to be? That is why I believe you deal with people who choose to be there, not people who have to be there, people who want to be there, and they will show up as they're supposed to. Now, I'm going to get into some of these videos because I would like to hear what some of the people off of TikTok have to say. Now, this is going to be a variety of information from younger people, older people. It's just going to be information that I came across on TikTok, and we're going to go through some of it. Let's find the first one right quick. The first one, I believe, is going to be the 5 stages of a relationship. Now, I don't know if it's going to be agreeable to everybody, but let's hear what they have to.
Just in a relationship, and most people stop at 3. Stage 1, falling in love. In the beginning, your hormones take charge.
I don't know if that can be heard.
Laugh a lot more often. This phase, often called the honeymoon stage, it tends to be everyone's favorite because it's fun.
Is that, can anyone hear that? I can barely hear it, so if you can hear it, please let me know.
Getting serious. Even though you two still make a great couple,
a 1
there's
in
a
the comment if you can hear this.
You still hold hands in the park and cuddle up together. Perhaps you're seeing each other every day, or maybe you've even decided to move in together. The fun of stage 1 seems to have faded away, and you're
What up, Lamar? How you doing? Thanks for tuning in, brother. I appreciate you. One of my clients and close friends. How you doing today? Looking forward to see you in the shop.
Arguments become more frequent, and keeping the romance alive feels like a chore. Making time for your partner becomes a struggle, and you find yourself simply waiting for it all to be over. For many, this is where relationships come to an end. Stage 4, climbing down from the pedestal. You and your partner have reached a deeper level of understanding and communication.
Hey, same here,
now,
just coming from the gym.
You're able to confront life's challenges as a team. Your love has matured and become a sturdy bond founded on trust and mutual respect. You understand and accept each other. Stage 5, working together as a team. Now that you've both embraced each other's flaws and weaknesses, along with each other's strengths and desires, you can combine forces to make the world a better place, or even start a loving family.
So I agree with that. I didn't catch all of the beginning. What I'm saying though is I agree with the fact that relationships do go in stages. It seems like there's always like a new phase or a honeymoon phase, a phase where everybody is infatuated with each other. It's the time where a lot of people put their best foot forward. And another thing that I feel like you should not do is walk around with a, what do they call it? A representative, someone who represents you, but it is not the real you. That is what they used to say, putting your best foot forward, but it's not your best foot forward if it's not you consistently. I would say try to show up as the most authentic you as possible. One thing that I tell a lot of my younger clients, especially the ones in college, when you're in college, I believe that it takes a long time for a man to establish his value. And when a man is in college, the women who are sitting to the left and to the right of him are not the women who he can entertain at that time. See, it is hard to maintain good education or staying focused in school and trying to entertain someone at the same time. And at the same time, the women who sit across from you while you're in college, they do not have to do the same requirements as a man would have to do when they're in college or at a younger age. Let's just say it like this. If a young man is in college and focused on his education, then he is not providing his highest value. College is so that you can get to your highest value, so you can get your education, so you can get to your career. Well, when you get done with your college classes, you can go and you have to go, as a man, you go home and you better be studying and preparing yourself to be better. Where the person who is sitting across from you, mostly women, they have more options. See, they can have guys approach them and say, hey, would you like to go out? And so a lot of their expenses are not as expensive as a man's expenses would be. Because if a man takes a woman on a date, normally, if he is a chivalrous man, he's going to be the one to pay. If you're in college and you're not making much money, how do you expect to entertain the person who is there sitting next to you? You should focus on your education and allow them, well, they can just go out and enjoy themselves. I guess this is why I can't speak for women, because I don't understand what it's like to have someone take me out and treat me somewhere. All I'm saying is, as a man, you have to build your worth, your value. And so that means that you have to focus on the things that you need to do before you focus on a relationship. If you focus on a relationship too soon, then what happens is you end up getting lost trying to keep up and keep someone entertained that you don't have the stability in your life to entertain. When I was young, I would use myself as an example. I went into the military and I was not making much money when I first entered the military. I had a girlfriend and she was making more money than I was. But every time we went out, it was my money that was required to be spent. That means she got to keep all her money. I was the one who drove. I was the one who paid for gas. I was the one who paid for the movies. I was the one who paid for food. And I get it. Women look at that and think like that is you're paying for their attention. And I get it. All I'm saying is it is expensive to try and keep up with what someone else wants if you can barely provide those things for yourself. I did not make enough money to take myself out to the movies every weekend and eat every weekend. But here I was trying to do that for myself and someone else to keep us entertained. And what happened is that made it so my resources were very limited. It made it so if we wanted to do anything more, because I never was able to depend on her finances, I will say I have never felt that I've been able to depend on any woman's finances. I've only been able to depend on my own. So that is one of the things that I tell people is wait until you get yourself established before you start trying to entertain. Because if you don't get yourself established first, you will just be in a area where you're spinning your wheels. It's called working hard and playing hard. Work hard, play hard. That is a wheel spin. That's like burning your tires on the pavement. Work hard, play hard. Work hard, play hard. All you're doing is burning yourself out. All right, let's move on to the next video. I got to be on here an hour, so we're going to get this one. Tonight ain't going to be nearly as hard. Hold on, I hit the wrong button. Tonight's not going to be nearly as hard because this is an easy topic to me because this is something that I deal with. Here we go. So this is relationship advice for women, but I still found this on TikTok. So we're going to pull this one in now.
Women today, especially my young women, because the kitty y'all know now is not the kitty that I used to be. I used to be dumb, stupid, slow, dunce. Okay, not too much on yourself, kitty. It doesn't matter what it is that you do. The more you hold on to that man, the more you hurt yourself. You so consumed with that man that you can't even see that he's your struggle. And if you can't see that he's your struggle, that means that you can't listen to the people who are trying to warn you that he's your struggle. You show up and you show up, you do more and more just to prove your worth to this man, just for him to love you. You sacrifice a bit of yourself each time. time that you are trying to prove to this man that you are worthy of his love. You crying and begging, asking yourself why, questioning your worth, because your worth has now become dependent on how much attention and time this man gives you. And the time and attention that he gives you is limited to maybe some back and forth text, maybe some sex. When this man gets his fix, he dips. You think that man don't know what it is that he doing? A man who's played the game for so long, he knows when he has a woman's worth in his hand. He is playing you like a puppet, baby. And you acting crazy won't make him love you better. You want this man to love and respect you when you don't love and respect yourself. You showing him he don't have to give you nothing because you'll give yourself scraps so he can give you scraps. That's some desperate shit. How do you have a fear of losing people when you are dealing with someone who is purposely inconsistent with you? The only consistency that he shows is being inconsistent with you. This man is showing you that he'll leave as he pleases, and there is nothing that you can do to make him stay. This does not mean that you are not good enough. You're just not good enough for him, and that is okay. He does not want you on a deeper level, and that is okay. This man may not be ready. He may have commitment issues. He still may be in his player phase. He may have other options, or simply he may just not want you, and that is okay. No one's gonna take you serious until you start taking yourself serious. And you chasing unavailable people tells everybody else that you take yourself as a joke. You chasing out of fear, and that is not okay. Whatever dream and vision you have created obviously is not the same vision that this man has. You all don't share the same vision. Get out of dreamland. He is not gonna wake up one day and say, hello world, I decided to be with this desperate woman who doesn't love herself. It sounds harsh, but it's the truth. Take that man off that pedestal. What Cole say? My ego gets stroked and I bruise him. I learned a long time ago from my uncles, from the OGs, that a man will commit when he is ready. Stop chasing that man. You're going to end up putting yourself in a position you don't want to be in, where this man finds a woman and he falls in love with her, he commits to her, and then you turn up to end up being the bitter ex-fling or the bitter baby mama. That label don't even sound right. Leave that man alone. Brought to you by a woman that used to be a dummy.
All right. So
no, but seriously, leave that man alone, girl. Go get you some Starbucks.
So I am a firm believer that a man know what he want. He do. There's no way around that. Now, I'm saying it takes time for a man to figure out what he want. I'm not going to lie. But I think once he feels that he has found it, he won't let it go if it's something that he really wants. I think that people will not let go of a good thing. You know, people say you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think that's and I could be talking too soon about some things because clearly once you lose something and you realize how good it was, I'm sure. But I believe that if you see a good thing, you recognize it. And it is just as much two people in every relationship. Every relationship makes up of at least two people. So what I'm saying is, it's not just one person's fault or the other when things don't work out. It's a combination of both, because you both have to want it and you both have to be speaking the same language. And I'm not talking about love languages. I'm just talking about it's easier when you both sit down and have an understanding. But you can't think that you're going to trick somebody into wanting you. It has to feel or be authentic. And I think what happens is a lot of people overlook what some people call red flags. I just look at it like, how do you feel? If a person don't make you feel good about yourself when you talk to them, why would you continue to talk to them? If a person doesn't make you think that they're interested in them or make you feel like they are interested in you, why do you continue? Now, that's kind of a hard one, but you can't make a person want you. You just be the best person that you are. And if they don't want you, then don't waste your time. There are millions of people out here, and every moment you sit trying to force a situation that is not right, one, you'll end up making yourself bitter, very much bitter. And two, you're not going to change a person. A person has to want to change, and there is nothing you can do to make a person want to change. They will have to want it for themselves. I'm learning that one. That one is a hard one because you think that you can make a person better. You think that you can I was just at the gym today, and a young man at the gym, he stopped to talk to me, and he's having relationship advice. That's why I know this was the video for today, because he walked up to me and he told me that life wasn't going the way that he wanted it to. Now, he had job issues as well. He's gained a little bit of weight from the stress of the world coming down on him. And the one thing that he really wanted to focus on was the fact that his relationship just ended. But he is the one who chose to end the relationship. And it's, look, I don't want to go too much into all this. I just want to keep moving on these. Let's go to the next video. I thought this was going to be easier than it is. Woo. Let's play this one. This young man had some good advice.
Say these two things to you, you need to leave, dogs. Get up out of there. Hey, y'all niggas been on my ass by giving y'all some advice so cool. This is gender neutral. It go both ways. Number one, if they say, I don't need you, that is them blatantly letting you know that they only tolerate you. Duh, no shit.
Hey, that's a fact right there. When somebody tells you they don't need you, then that means they're basically disrespecting everything that you do for them. If they don't need you or they don't want you, why are you there? Let's continue.
Shit, you don't need me. You can function and handle things on your own. But why are you going out your way to tell me that? What they really trying to say is they don't value what you bring to their life. And a person that does not value you will not protect you. They will choose a self every single time. Because we all know love is a choice, not a feeling. And because they don't value what you bring to their life, they look at being with you as a sacrifice. So at that point, if they ever come across a more valuable option, they're going to choose to benefit themselves regardless of how it's going to affect you. That line is normally indication that they starting to resent you. Stay with me. That trend of, yeah, I'm slowly starting to hate my girl, I'm slowly starting to hate my man. Yeah, y'all not going to be together too much longer. Number two, if they ever say, well, I didn't ask you to do that. Oh my God, if my girl ever said that shit, I'm out of there, gone. As a man, I pride myself on being that nigga that just get shit done. I pay for your nail appointment or your hair appointment before you even get there. If you come in here after work, I order food from your favorite spot and have it at the crib sitting ready for you, so when you come in, you can relax and eat. If I'm out by myself and I see something that I know you would like, I'm going to buy it for you, simply because I love seeing that you feel appreciated. And you going to fix your funk-ass lips to say, I ain't ask you to do that? Oh, shawty, say less. And y'all love to get on here talking about if he wanted to, he would. He doing it. He's doing it, and you not grateful. Don't y'all want the nigga that you don't have to ask to do shit? He just do it off the strength. And hold on, fellas, don't clap too soon, because this go for y'all too. Y'all niggas be trying to downplay y'all girls' contribution to the relationship, and that shit really lame as fuck. I pay the bills and take care of the paperwork. My girl cooks and cleans the house. Both of our jobs are just as important. I am not more important because I'm providing most of the money. The fact that she cooks and cleans and helps me out in other ways is the reason why I can go out and provide most of the money. What y'all niggas gotta realize, when a woman really value you, bro, she's naturally nurturing. It's the little things. I'm a grown-ass man. I can make my own plate, but when she cooks, she brings the food to me with my drink and my condiments. Come on, bro. We working late night sometimes. She'll wake up early to go and take care of my dogs, walk them, feed them, make sure they taken care of, so it's just one less thing I gotta worry about. Bottom line, y'all are a team. Y'all both contribute in different ways, but y'all both provide value. Anybody that think you below them, toss their ass to the curb.
Hey, that's facts right there. That young man has some good points. What I took away from that and what I do believe is you are a team. And that means that, one, I believe that you should not be working on the same things at the same time. You have strengths that you are both good at. And that means you should both be working on those things equally at the same time. It is not a 50-50. Relationships are not 50-50. Both people have to put 100% in each and every day. There's no way around that. No way around it. You cannot sit there and think, I will only go so far for this person. You have to be willing to go all the way every single day. Now, some days are easier to do that than others. When you're on the high times and everything is going good, it's easy to do those things. But you also have to find the ability to do those things when things are not going the way you want them to. When money's not flowing the way you want it to. When issues come up and you're not getting the things that you want. I believe that you have to find a way to make yourself happy and then bring yourself to the relationship. You have to make yourself happy and then bring yourself to a relationship. Let's just be clear. I am one who I cannot stand a person who thinks that it is up to you to make them happy and then they don't have anything to do to make you happy. One of those statements is happy wife, happy life. I don't understand how happy wife dictates happy life. Both people have to be happy. I'm not going in a negative way. I'm saying if you make it so only one person has to be happy, then it's almost like you're saying, and I'm just supposed to be happy off of the fact that you're happy. I believe, let's keep going. I'm gonna get deep into this one. I already know. Let's just keep going.
Relationships work because two people make a decision.
See, this is the point.
To get in a boat together and make it work. I think that, now I'm going to start crying, Jesus. Well, I think because if you've been together for 30 years, there are lots of times where you want to get out of the boat.
You got to find somebody who want to be in that boat with you.
I think people are in relationships hoping it works. You're in the boat in the beginning, but then as things get rocky or the journey gets boring, you start to question whether or not you're going to get there. And the first thing I would say to anybody that wants a very successful relationship is you've got to be honest with yourself if you're actually even in the boat. Because no advice is going to matter if you're not interested in making the relationship work. That even in those moments, Chris, where we were going through excruciatingly difficult situations and breakdowns, either with each other or ourselves or our kids or financially, problems with drinking, that deep down inside, just like my parents said, I always knew I wanted to finish the journey together.
See, and that's what's important. You got to have a person who wants to finish the journey with you, who wants to take the journey with you. If the person across from you is only there because of what you do for them and they're never doing anything for you, you got to take note of that. If you can't communicate the issues with the person that's across from you, then what do? I'm not one to talk about giving up on things because I do not believe that is the answer. But you can't get that boat. You can't make that boat go, especially if it's two people supposed to be paddling. If you're the only one paddling, then that means that boat is going to just go around in circles. It's not going to go anywhere. Everybody needs to be working. Everybody needs to be working towards making the relationship work. That's what I mean. Well, towards making the relationship work. Is that one the one? I'm going to save that one for later because it's a little bit long, but I think they had great points. But let's go and talk to this. This one is about exit strategies. So the last video was about working together and being in the boat. And I'm saying what happens if the person in the boat with you don't want to help, don't want to work, and you're doing all the rowing by yourself. Let's listen to this one.
One or two things. There's either nothing more that I can do or nothing more that I'm willing to do. And that's a very small window because on the other side of that window is just stand because I'm here. Stand because I've been here. Stand because I'm scared to be somewhere else, right? At the moment, you know there's nothing else you can do or that you ain't gonna do nothing else even if you could. You need to go ahead and start working on your exit plan. Yes. Now, leaving may not be immediate. We have to be realistic. Everybody not in situations where they can up and bounce as easy as it said. But you need to start planning your exit, whatever that means for you. If your exit requires establishing safety elsewhere, if it requires you stacking your finances up at the very moment, like that moment when you like, nah, I'm tapped. Because a lot of us realize that and we try to push, we try to dig like, bruh, if you cannot show up in your relationship healthy and wholehearted, you need to leave. Even if it's you need to go because it's gonna get to the point where you punishing the person across from you because you're not even showing up in the healthy way. You showing up out of resentment. You showing up with it, you know what I'm saying? Like, so once you realize you in that space, like Kitty said, a stagnation, just go ahead and start working on your exit plan.
See, that's exactly what I was talking about too. When I was saying earlier about, like, I don't think that we should be thinking about exit strategies as much as we should be thinking about always being prepared. I made the statement earlier today that if you go camping and while you're camping, you get bit up by mosquitoes, then like I'm the type of person, you make checklists. And so the next time you go camping, you will make sure that bug spray is on your checklist. I'm saying if you are burned, or let's say you're in a relationship and, as I said, people leave by choice or by God's calling, whichever one, people leave. That's what they do. Not saying that, you're just thinking the negative. No, I'm thinking realistically. At some point in your life, there will be a parting. So I don't think that you should be thinking about an exit strategy as much as you should be thinking about the preparation in case something happens. One thing, make sure your finances in order. No debt. I say both men and women, this is good advice for everyone. No debt. Have a savings account so that if you need to leave or if something comes up, you have the money to do so. I would say if you own a home, do everything you can do as fast as possible to pay off or at least pay down dramatically the value or what you owe on that home. When people go through divorces, a lot of times the biggest thing that happens, I have clients who are going through divorces on a regular basis, and hearing what they have to go through, I'm saying there are ways to combat those things. If you have a house and you know that the court is going to make you divide that house, there's one or two things that are going to happen. You're either going to, if one person wants to keep that house, then you're going to have to give the equity out of that house to the person who is leaving. That means if you own a $200,000 house and the house is now valued, you owe 200 and the house is valued at 400,000, then what you would have to do is give them half of the value or the equity of the home, whatever the court decides. It could either be you need to pull 100,000 out and give it to them, which means now you have to go out and finance the home for 300,000, or they could say you got to give up half the value of the house, which means you would have to refinance your home for $400,000 to give it to them. What I'm saying is, if you don't owe much on that house, you don't have to inconvenience yourself nearly as much, especially with the interest rates being as high as they are. If you owe a ton of money on your home, then I done had clients have to pull money out just to separate. And then they put themselves in a financial bind just to stay in the same situation that they were. And that's what I mean. If the other option is to sell the home and then give them half of the profits. And sometimes, in some cases, the courts will order you to give up more. But I'm saying if you position yourself for no debt, and if your partner does not cooperate in your no debt, then what I believe you should do is minimize the amount of interaction that there is between finances. I know that sounds horrible. A lot of people are saying you should not be preparing for these things. What I'm saying is you should always show up as the best you. And that means you have to do what you are capable of doing. You can't control others. You can control yourself and the things that you have control over. So my advice to people are, if you have someone now, see, this is the thing. If you have someone that you're in relationship with that is on board with every move that you make, if you can agree to organize your finances properly, then you don't have to take this kind of advice. But if you can't get someone to cooperate with you, then you have to do everything you can to protect yourself. If your spouse was an alcoholic, or your whoever you're in a relationship with was an alcoholic, you would do everything you can to protect yourself so that their problem doesn't affect you. If they were a gambler, you would want to make sure that your bills are paid before the person who is irresponsible drains all your finances. This is about protecting yourself, not just, look, the reason why you do these things is so you can be the best person in a relationship. You don't want what someone else does to affect how you show up. You still have to show up as a person. Am I lagging? It looks like I am. But we're going to keep moving, because whenever I lag, it seems like that's the Lord telling me that I'm moving too long in the same place. And we're at 35 minutes, and I'm trying to make it to an hour. That is my daily goal. I am trying to live stream for an hour every day, just so I can practice and get better with this app and my public speaking and my presentations. So we're going to keep it moving. I just did exit strategy. Here's one about how men love. Let's see what he has to say. Any day now. I am noticing that my equipment is moving slow. This is the type of stuff to make you want to go out and spend money to upgrade your equipment, but we ain't going there. Oh, no wonder. No wonder. I'm about to
ask. Let me
Oh, my battery was low.
A man really loves you.
I'm about to lose my mind.
Really
I just saw that.
You will never have to ask. You will never have to ask for date nights. You will never have to ask for gifts for no reason. You will never have to ask for time. You will never have to ask for affection.
Well, hold on now. This says when a man really loves you, you will never have to ask. I'm going to say right now, I don't 100% agree with that, because when a man really loves you, he going to put the responsibilities of the things that he needs to do before some things. See, one thing that I do have a problem with is, in relationships, women want men to provide, but then they want to tell them how to do so. You always out, you always working, you always doing this. And it's kind of like, how do you expect me to provide all the things that you want and you control my time? So to say you will never have to ask for a date night, what I'm saying is, if date nights don't come as often as you want them to, yes, sometimes you might have to ask, but sometimes you still might get turned down. Everything is not going to go the way you want it to all the time. I respect what this young man is saying. I hear what he is saying, but I feel a little differently about this, because I'm saying in a relationship, things are not always going to go your way. I'm not just talking about for men, I'm saying, or for women, I'm saying even for men. Sometimes that's like saying if a woman loves a man, you would never have to ask for sex. You would never have to ask for food. You would never have to ask. Look, sometimes you are going to have to ask. I'm saying God loves me, and yet I still pray, asking him to give me the things that I want. So to think that a man is going to be more accurate in his giving than God is, and I'm saying God is very accurate, but it says, knock and the door shall be open, ask and you shall receive. I'm saying, we even say as humans, a closed mouth don't get fed. So if you want something and you're not getting it, you will have to ask for it sometimes. So let's keep going with this advice.
You will never have to ask for communication, patience. You will never have to ask to be desired. You will never have to ask for reassurance, because when a man loves you, it is never an inconvenience. When you are dealing with a real man, it is his pleasure to give you money. It is his pleasure to open you up to new experiences. It is his pleasure to make you come. It is his pleasure to provide for you. It is his pleasure to protect you. It is his pleasure to do whatever it takes to keep you satisfied and feeling loved and feeling appreciated. And it is his pleasure to consider the way that he makes you feel. If you got one of these, don't take it for granted, because I am telling you, they are far and few. And if you got a man right now that does this, you need to send it to him, because it should be your pleasure to be his woman.
Okay, I agree with him. It should be your pleasure to pleasure the other person. It should be your pleasure. You should want to do those things for the person who you are with. But to say that you will never have to ask, hey, how you doing today? Appreciate you for showing up. You should never, he said you should never have to ask. And I'm saying that does not discount the way that a man feels. If he is going out and working his butt off to provide, then maybe you might, hey, same here, then maybe you might have to ask every once in a while, because there is a such thing as a person getting caught up with life. And I can't see how anybody thinks that you or anyone will always be the number one priority of things. Look, you have to provide. You can't always show up as the other person wants. Like, it's hard to show up as you need to be and show up as the person expects you to be in every single moment. If you are working, trying to provide, and you are tired and you come home and you don't have the energy to do something, it should also be that the other person has some understanding as well. Like, to just put it all off on one person of what they're supposed to look, everybody on the team understands and knows their role on a team. And the team who shows up with the best consistency of everybody playing their role and playing their part is the one who is the most likely to show up as the victor in the Super Bowl. Let's just say that. I'm saying he gives good advice, but to say that you will never have to, that's a little bit of a stretch, because communication is when someone is not doing everything that you expect them to do, you are supposed to be able to communicate it with them now, with the person. Now, I'm saying he did say the person should have patience and understanding, and I agree with that. But if a person is not showing up as an adult with what they're asking for, meaning you don't take me out enough and I want to go out more, it's like, I'm trying to provide for a house and bills. And see, a lot of times people don't pay attention to the whole picture. You could want your man to spend all his money on you, but then what about the things that he's responsible for that he has to take care of? See, that's what I'm saying. Like there are responsibilities that show up on a regular basis that some people just aren't thinking about. Savings, for one. Like, how do you spend all your money trying to keep someone happy and then provide all the things that they need? You need a new roof someday if you own a house. You need to keep your cars maintained if you own cars. There's more to relationship. Like I think, especially with the social media life, so many people think that relationships are supposed to be pretty all the time. Heck, what I'm saying is the people in the relationship aren't pretty all the time. If you start a relationship off of somebody's looks, you are going to be shocked for how that person shows up as the years go on. What I'm saying is gravity takes effect on all of us. All of us. As we age, we do not stay the same. I'm saying you can't expect a relationship to be the prettiest all the time. There are going to be hard times. And so when he said you should never have to ask, what I'm saying is that is not always going to be the case. Closed mouths don't get fed. If you feel like something is lacking in your relationship, you should be able to speak on it. And if the person across from you is not accepting of it, you should start figuring out what you're going to do, because eventually it's going to start to weigh on you and you are not going to. I don't know about 11. Now, I don't know. I'm running for an hour, but I'm shooting for however long this takes. I don't have a set schedule. I shoot for an hour each time. That's what I shoot for. I'll put this comment up. All I'm shooting for is an hour. That's what I do I'm trying to do it every single day. I'm just looking for different content every single day. So tomorrow may not be relationship. Yesterday was about car notes and car payments. Today is about relationship. It's whatever lands on my heart each day. I'm bringing it for an hour. That is the goal. All I want to do is just be on here an hour each day. I guess I didn't said that too many times just to eat up some time. All right, I ain't gonna say what I was thinking. Get into my word salads. All right, let's look for that next video right quick. We didn't look at his. Here we go right here. I thought this one was some good advice right here. Let's listen to that one.
That love will never be enough to save your relationship. At least not the way today's culture has defined it. Frankly, I don't even care that you love each other. Anyone with a pulse in their brain can fall in love. But I had to learn the hard way that love doesn't sustain a relationship.
That's
Connection
facts.
and intimacy and safety and trust do.
That's
And
facts.
those require a lot more than just love, don't they? That's great that you love each other. Here's a better question. Do you respect each other? Does your partner feel respected and valued? Do you even care anymore? Do you work to appreciate each other? Do you serve each other mutually? Can you take accountability when you mess up? Can you repair conflicts together? Can you listen when they say you accidentally hurt them? Can you be vulnerable? Are you a safe place for them to be vulnerable and honest about what they need to feel valued? Because love's not going to be enough. How you love each other is what's going to make the difference. And for those of you who are married, saying I do doesn't mean you can. It just means you want to. And unfortunately, relationship success has nothing to do with your intentions. It has everything to do with humility and putting aside your ego and becoming a team together where each of you cares how the other feels loved, valued, and prioritized.
I agree with him. A lot of people think love is all that matters. Love will carry us through. What I'm saying is, there's a difference between being in love and loving someone. And I believe people fall in relationships, especially long relationships. I believe people fall in and out of love in long relationships, but they still love each other. Being in love is kind of like the newness, the puppy love. And now I'm not saying that being in love can't come and go, because it can go and then come back. There are stages, but you have to be willing to work together and work through things. And a lot of times I got an interesting email or whatever you want to call it. It was on Facebook. Somebody DM me, I guess. And it was interesting because it said people who are not taught accountability when they're young, they grow up to be adults who do not feel like they have to be accountable for things. And I believe that sometimes people show up for relationships thinking it's all about me, it's all about me, it's all about me. And then there's no room for the other person to get anything out of it. And then it feels like a trap, especially if you have kids together, or you combine your finances or your life, you buy houses together. People have to show up as if they want it just as bad as everybody else. And it feels horrible when you hear somebody tell you how they could do better without you, or they don't need you. It's a different time these days. It's easy that way. No one, in my opinion, no one technically needs anyone. Most people can survive on their own with no one in their life. I'm starting to notice a trend that it looks like most people in this world are starting to become happy with being by themselves, even though I believe that leads to a very, very lonely life. But people are starting to get to the point where they're like, I can take care of everything by myself. Why? What do they basically say? I can do bad by myself. Well, you can do better together, especially if you can find someone to do it together with that wants to participate. I think that's an interesting thing. Let's keep it moving and find another one. I thought his information, that video was a very good video. Let me go on and find. I only have a few. Oh, I got several left. Okay. Let's go with this one. I think this young lady had some good points.
y'all women gonna get mad at me today. So if you can't take constructive criticism, baby, keep on scrolling. Many of you women are not really what you think you're cracked up to be. Like, some of y'all are really not great people to be in relationships with. Y'all know I work with couples every single day, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a list of everything that I have to work through. First things first, quit coming into relationships trying to make a man secure your insecurities. That's your job. If you lack confidence, if you have low self-esteem, if there's still trauma that you're operating in, if you're self-critical, if you're judgmental when it comes to yourself, if you blame yourself, if you're still operating in guilt and trauma and everything.
I want to say this. Hey, how you doing today? I want to say this. I believe this to be very true. If you should not be looking for someone else to validate who you are, you should know who you are. You should, like I said, you have to show up as a healthy person.
Anything else, baby, that's for you to handle, not him. Respect his space. Like, stop becoming so preoccupied and hyper aware of what a man has going on. As soon as you see his mood is off a little bit, you start becoming overwhelming. What's wrong? What's wrong? What's wrong? Let me tell you how men are. A lot of men, when they are going through stuff, they may end up withdrawing or retreating because they're trying to figure it out. They're not always upset at you. Their moods are not changing just because of you. People go through things in a way that men are. They don't express themselves as much as we do as women. It's okay. Give that man some space. Oh yeah, the clinginess. Clinginess is cute to an extent, baby, but once you become codependent and you're always getting jealous whenever this person goes out, and you become anxious whenever they're not around you, you start blowing up their phones, or they gonna hang out with their friends, that is problematic, and you gonna push them away. As much as many of you all don't want to believe it, it's absolutely okay for a man to admire another woman, as long as it is a quick look, boom, and he's not staring, and he doesn't have a wandering eye, and he's not impulsive, and he's not a cheater. If he's all of those, baby, why are you with him in the first place? You're ignoring the red flags. You're settling. As long as that man is not window shopping or ordering off the menu, relax. He has a visual appetite. If he sees a beautiful woman, it's okay to admire. Just like if you see a handsome man, you're going to admire him too. Relax. Stop letting yourself go. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you need to stop doing everything that you do.
Hey, this goes for everybody. You should always be your best self. Do not let yourself go, man or woman, because you're in a relationship and you think I already have secured whatever. What I'm saying is, if you don't show up as the person who the person remembers, it is always going to play in their mind. You have to be your best you at all times. There is no time for slacking. Nothing
did in the
can be
beginning,
lacking.
if you always kept your skin together and your nails together, your lashes together, your hair done, your body was waxed up at the beginning, keep that same energy. Hold your end of the relationship. Remember, visual. A man still has a visual appetite, and he loves what he sees, baby, because you're going to stimulate a whole lot more in him. Don't let yourself go because you secured the relationship. As much as you want to believe it, you're not always right. As much as you want to always be in control, you have to let some things go, baby. You cannot love a man the way you want to love him. If you study him, if you pay attention, if you actually listen, I guarantee you he will tell you how to love him. You cannot limit the way you love him to a love language. That's why I hate the conversation of love language. You can ask a man, what's your favorite love language? And he can say, oh, acts of service. And you think that's all you have to do to love him? No, baby, you got to study your man. Stop nagging him all the time. It's perfect. Okay, quit always expressing your dissatisfactions. If you see he's putting in efforts in other places, please uplift those efforts. Acknowledge him. Show that you appreciate that. If it's
See, this is what I was talking about the other video where the guy was saying, if a man really loves you, he will do this and he will do this. I'm saying, what about things like what she's talking about? Sometimes you could be putting in effort in other places that just are being overlooked. I'm not saying just men. I'm just saying that's how I speak, and that's what I think like. So she's speaking for men, which she's doing a good job of it. I'm not going to say she's not. But how I view it is, it might not always show up as the way you want it. You don't take me on date nights. Well, we having a hard time keeping the lights on. How can you expect to go on date nights? But people will overlook that. You can always find time to do this and do that. Well, if a person works nonstop and they're tired, are they not allowed to have a little joy? And then it's like, but you should also be doing X, Y, and Z. And it's like, you can't keep piling stuff on a person's back. It's like the straw that breaks a camel's back.
something like a pet peeve, baby, compromise. I know a lot of women have a hard time compromising. Baby, you got to find a middle ground. Sometimes it's just not worth you bringing up a dissatisfaction. A lot of you all just be nagging. You're pushing that man away. It's okay. He's not always going to fit your idea. He's not always going to satisfy you in every area. Baby, I promise you, every trait that you may have on your beautiful checkoff list, he may not measure up to every single one of them.
Hey, so this is where I come in and we talk about the grass being greener on the other side. See, people like to talk about the grass being greener on the other side. And what I tell people is it don't matter if the grass is green on the other side or not. If you don't know how to take care of grass, it don't matter where you move to. Your grass is only going to be green as you're capable of making it. So if your yard's grass is not green, and you think that just by moving to another house with greener grass is going to be the answer, what I'm saying is if you didn't know how to take care of the grass in the yard that you're in, when you move to another yard, you can expect for that grass to look the same after a while. You have to know how to tend the grass for it to stay green. So another thing I like to say is if the grass is greener on the other side, I would like you to understand the water bill is probably higher too. Let that one sink in. Like that water.
That's why you have to be selective, but stop nagging all the time. You can't read minds and you can't predict the future. So stop trying to interpret things and stop trying to jump to conclusions. Baby, it's not healthy. It's a distorted way of thinking and it will kill your relationship. Being independent is okay, but why do you have to be so independent that you're unreceptive?
I don't think you should be independent and be in a relationship. Man or woman. You should be interdependent on each other. Not what do they call it? To the point where you can't exist without each other, but there should be no independence once you come into a relationship. A relationship, you should be able to depend on the other person. And I'm saying you should be able to depend on them for things like they should compliment you in areas where you're weak. That's where that person should be stronger. You should be able to depend on each other. So your independence should be out the window. And anybody who says I'm going to stay independent, even when what I'm saying is you're entering into that relationship without the thought process of getting the full benefits out of that relationship. Yes, interdependence, not codependent. That's what I was trying to say. That is correct. And I believe that you should be able to work with a person instead of feeling like I can do everything by myself. It's like, well, what did you get in a relationship for? Just so you can say you're in a relationship? Let's continue.
Men love to be needed. If you're so independent that you won't even allow him to help, what is he there for? Stop involving.
What I'm saying is I would not be in a place where I cannot be the man that I feel like I was designed to be. If you don't need me, if I am not beneficial, what am I doing here wasting my time?
But everybody in your relationship, I don't care if it's friends or family, they have no place to be in your relationship. So stop involving them. Their opinions do not matter. Their advice does not matter. They are not the person that you were sleeping with. Relax. You think you're doing something when you're comparing your man to everybody else. You're comparing your man to your best friend's husband and yada, yada, yada. And now he's pretending to be something that he's not. That's very uncomfortable for a man. Baby, constructive criticism and destructive criticism are real things. If you're always criticizing, you're going to push him away and he's going to end up faking things and that's going to make him unhappy. And then the intimacy is going to decline. And whose fault is that going to be? Yeah, because you were comparing. Many of you ladies are not the inspiration that you think that you are. I'm sorry to break it to you. If you're always operating in your comfort zone and you refuse to take risks and you lack intellectual intimacy, you don't go out there and try to learn new things, baby, you're not reaching new opportunities, you're always low in your confidence, you're not really inspiring this person. If this person is trying to grow, and you want to stay and you want to be on social media or on your phone and everybody else's business.
Hey, this is a big one. It is important that you find someone who they might not have the drive like you have. I'm not saying that is important. What I'm saying is I do too. I really like how she speaks. I'm going to put that one up. What I'm saying is you don't have to find someone who has the drive that you have, but don't deal with someone who tears down your drive. Like if they're not motivated to want more, to get more, and they're pulling you back, I'll tell you, this is one of those things. We talked about this one when we were talking about finances, the 15 rules of money. And one of the rules of money was finding the right partner. If you choose the wrong partner, they can bring you down. You have all these goals and dreams and aspirations, and they don't. They just want to make sure that you don't shine or nobody else sees you. They want to keep you trapped in a closet so you can't be your best. I'm saying that is the one that will keep you depressed. That is the one that will keep your ass stressed. Oh my goodness. Get that off your chest. Hey, let's keep going. My bad, y'all.
And you're not really doing anything to add to his fruition, baby, eventually he's going to grow without you. Pessimism.
Facts.
Stop being negative all the time. Communication. Learn to
Communication's
listen.
key.
Validate their experiences. Don't interrupt. You know what? The list can go on. Just work on your communication, baby, okay? Now, I know some of y'all gonna get to the end of this video and be like, Look, if you want a healthier relationship, start taking criticism. Take each piece if it applies and let it apply. If it doesn't, then go on about your business. But if you want a healthier relationship, if you're dating, if you're a girlfriend, if you're a wife, whatever it may be, you want a healthy relationship, baby, take the criticism as constructive. Take it as a learning tool. Use it and change.
Hey, she made a whole lot of good points. That was one of the longer videos. I do have one that is longer, but we have already gone over our hour. I'm still going to play that long clip because I am actually enjoying this content. I think it is very helpful. I learn a lot while I'm watching it, but excuse me, she made a lot of good points. And I'm saying if people can learn how to take criticism and grow from it, instead of always looking at it as it's a bad thing, like I believe you should always be trying to be a better version of yourself. Every day, all I strive for is to be better today than I was yesterday. I try to keep my energy consistent. I'm saying people should be willing to accept, especially if you know the person across from you loves you and cares about you, then you should feel like they're not doing or saying anything to be harmful to you. You should think that they are trying to help you get the best out of you as well. Now, you know the difference between somebody saying something to you. I'm not going to say you. I would like to believe that most people know the difference between somebody saying something to you to belittle you and somebody saying something to you to try and get the best out of you. It can come maybe in the wrong tone sometimes, but you should be open to hearing what the person is saying and then be willing to do self-searching to find out if you could improve in some areas. But I am finding out that it is, maybe it comes to a point, I don't know, maybe one of these videos are going to talk about it, but maybe it comes to a point where a person feels like nothing I can do is good enough. I don't know. But I feel what hurts is when a person shows up and they stop wanting to be their best. They don't want to take constructive criticism. Let's move on to the next one. I got a couple more. And like I said, we didn't went over that hour already, so I didn't met my goal. But I guess I bought more videos in than I was thinking. Let's see what this one is. What your partner thinks is what I labeled it as. Hold on. Let's pull that up into here so everybody can hear
it. You're never going to walk away from them. No matter what they do, you've lost.
Oh, facts.
That's a horrible place to be in. We have to get to a place where we both understand that as long as we show up the way that we need to show up for each other, we have each other's back. We will be here. But neither of us will tolerate an unhealthy relationship and someone who blatantly does not want to work on making this better.
That's what I was just talking about. It's funny how that one was the next one. I did not put these up in any particular order. I just titled them and this is the order they're coming up. But that is exactly what I mean. Neither partner inside of a relationship should tolerate an unhealthy relationship. You should not tolerate being mistreated, being talked down to, being put down. You should not tolerate a person being disrespectful to you. You should not tolerate a person showing up less than. I'm saying there are times where a person might not be 100% because life happens. You should not look, for better or for worse, till death do you part, but you should not tolerate a person giving you less than what you know you are worth or what you deserve. That basically, it's a lot of things you should not tolerate. But I don't want to focus on the what you should not tolerate so much as everybody is supposed to show up as the best of them. And if you feel like you're not getting that, you should be able to go to that person and bring that to their attention. And they should be willing to try to hear you receive it and do something to show they care in return. They might not show up 100% like you expect them to, but there should be some proof that improvement is coming. Let's see. Here it is, working towards happiness. I did not. Here, let's just see what this one is.
Without putting no ring on it, nothing. But you draw the line and making a sandwich for a man. What in the fuck is going on? I take pride in doing my womanly duties. I feel like a man should never have to tell me to do certain shit that I just already should naturally be doing. Like, that's an embarrassment. If a man gotta tell me to clean up, I should feel embarrassed, correct? Like, if my man is hungry, if that's my man, if I'm around here claiming that this is my man, this is who I want to be with or whatever, and my man is hungry, I'm going to get my ass up and I'm going to go cook. But that's because that's what I want to do for my man, and I know that that's what makes it, like, I'm pretty sure that he will be happy.
That's right.
Y'all don't like to see y'all man happy?
See, and that's the thing. That's what I wonder sometimes. People get into those tit for tats, or what I'm saying is you should be trying your best. Like I wish that more people looked at relationships like competitions to see who can do more for the other person, who could do better for the other person, who could make the now I do believe it's up to you to show up as a whole person with your own happiness. That means making yourself fit, making yourself having friends so that you can show up as a healthy individual. Everything should not be dependent on the person who you consider to be your partner to make all things in your life feel great. But you should feel like you have a partner who wants to try to make your life better. You should both want to do that for each other, helping out. This is a team. That's what that's supposed to be. Like, if the people on the team want to see the team win, then they will put forth every action to see the team win. If you were watching a football game and the quarterback threw the ball in the wrong direction every time, like, you can guarantee that team is not going to win. If people don't show up for practice, you can guarantee that they're not all going to be on the same sheet of music when it's time to play the game. I'm saying, if people say they want to be on a team, and that's what I'm realizing, a lot of people want to be in a relationship, but not be like, it's like people don't think that relationships require work. That's right. But contribute to each other's happiness. I agree. You should be willing to and want to contribute to each other's happiness. That is what makes you win. All right, let's move on to this next. I think I got two more, and the last one is pretty long, but I wanted to bring this last one last because this is not the last one. Hold on, let me see. Oh no. Yeah, this is the last one. This one is pretty long, and the reason I played this is because I believe a lot of people go through this, and I don't understand how this whole thing happened, but it was two people sitting in a car and they had the camera rolling. I don't know why the camera was rolling for this conversation, but I know a lot of people go through this conversation. It's the conversation of, you don't do enough for me, but I'm tired. The other person saying, I'm tired because of all the things that I do. And I'm saying this statement rings true for a lot of people. It's not being on the same page of, let's just listen. It's a long video though. Oh, wait, I got to delete one first. I just learned that yesterday, but not hard. I am ready. That's facts. But I'm gonna be honest, it's not for so many people. It is not for so many people, and that's sad. It is very sad. You should want to make the other person happy. And if you don't want to make the other person happy, what the heck are you doing in that relationship? What is the point of that relationship? Let's watch this one right here. We're gonna stop several times for this one, I'm sure, because it is a longer video.
About something. I don't know how you gonna take this, but I have talked to you.
Cheat?
No, I have talked to you about this numerous of times, and I feel like you're not listening to me. You're not understanding what I'm saying. You hear me, but you not taking the time out to really understand what I'm saying. You don't take me out. You don't spend no quality time with me. I feel like I'm just a body and you just there. Like we just there. And I feel like it's more to a relationship. It's not even I feel like. I know it's more to a relationship than just, I don't know what this is. Because I don't feel like we in a relationship. I feel like you my roommate.
Because we not going out having dinner at five-star restaurants and shit.
No, because even when you come home, you don't acknowledge me. You always tired or something like that.
Yeah, that come was working 14 hours.
But what they have to do with
physical labor.
Okay.
Hey, see, this is exactly what I mean right here, though. Like, having expectations. This man just said he worked 14 hours and he come home and he be tired. And what I think is, it's interesting to me how you want all these things, like what she's saying is what she wants. And he sounds like if he's working 14 hours a day, it sounds like he's working that 14 hours to provide those things for her. Because I'm gonna be clear, I don't feel like men, we need half of the things that we end up putting into our lives. A lot of times we put them in our lives for others. We can live in smaller spaces. We don't need to eat nearly the things that we eat. I'm saying we don't be needing to provide a lot of these things. A lot of these things are comforts. And I don't feel like, for myself, I'll just speak for myself. As a man, I don't need half of the comforts that I have. I don't need them. But you get them, you obtain them because you know that it's what attracts a woman, or what keeps a woman, or it's what she wants. But most men don't need comforts. Let's keep moving, because like I said, this is a long video.
What they have to do with you acknowledging me?
Well, it take energy and it take rest in order to be able to contribute that to you. I'm one man.
But you always working. I mean, you always resting. So when
to
is
go
the
to
time?
Work.
Okay, so when is the time gonna be put? You can't even sit down and watch a movie with me.
See, this is another one right here. It's like, this is what I was saying earlier about a man needing to establish his value before he entertains, because this is exactly what happens. And I believe that men lose themselves over time because they end up chasing somebody else's dreams instead of chasing their own. When you have to constantly chase somebody else's dreams, what I'm saying is, if he did not have to provide, he would not be working 14 hours, and then maybe he could do something fun for himself if he wanted to. He would not have to be as tired. See, what I am learning is there are some people who want to live in the comfortable life, but they don't see all that is required to provide that comfortable life. They want to control the man and his time and still have him provide and be a man. And a man who is being controlled is not being a man. That's a fact. If he's being controlled and not being able to do what he needs to do, he is not being the man that he was designed to be. Let's keep going.
I mean, it's a read.
And just to be clear, they're sitting in this car right now. I would like to say that that should be viewed as quality time. There was a time in this car that a discussion could have been had. This man who never has time to do anything, he is in an 8-minute discussion right now. And this is the discussion that is being chose to be talked about instead of getting to the enjoyment that you could have had. And then the fact that this ended up on TikTok, you just showed a man spending time with you. Y'all are in a car. Where did y'all just come from? Where did you come from? Where did you go? What I'm saying is there was quality time spent. It was just not the quality time that she wanted. And this is what she chose to do with that quality time. Let's keep moving.
Reason and an explanation for all this.
It wasn't like this before. So what you did with
It wasn't like this before.
what you did just to get me in?
See, that's crazy.
What's crazy about it? I'm just
Like-
being. See, now I'm really just being open with you and
Well,
telling you.
maybe because since getting with you, you start wanting more and more things that requires me to go to work and be more and more tired.
See, that's what I'm talking about too. When you say that you want something, there is work that has to be done to get it. It's not like we just got genies in a bottle and we say, I want X, Y, and Z. And then you say, your wish is my command. And it just pops up. Somebody got to go out there and provide that stuff. So now she's saying it wasn't like that in the beginning. Yeah, because in the beginning, it wasn't as expensive things that you wanted. Like going to the movies once, or hopefully it's not every weekend. Going out to eat, hopefully it's not every weekend. But this is exactly what I mean. When I was younger and dating, it was always and that's why I believe that men who consistently date, all you're doing is really messing up your finances. If you're consistently dating, you're constantly messing up your finances with nothing to show for it. Like now, if you have money like that, so be it. But most men don't have money like that. And so if you're trying to show a woman basically what I considered is putting your best foot forward, or a representative. If you're putting a representative forward, and you can, to me, that's like a red flag. If you have to always be spending your money to keep someone entertained, I'm saying the person who is going to benefit your team the best is a person who helps you build to the things that you want, not constantly requires taking from the things that you're trying to build. That is what I believe a relationship benefits the most from, when both people are working towards a goal of achieving something, not just a goal of make me happy every moment. If a person is saying to you, I want to go on vacations all the time, and you're sitting there having to work yourself to death and not find any enjoyment for yourself to keep them happy, that is a problem. To me, that is a red flag.
You don't believe in the long haul. See, that's the bullshit.
Facts.
Y'all want this microwave shit, and y'all don't believe in.
You want it right
cooking.
now.
That's why your ass can't cook now. Cause
Ooh,
you
that was
want a
tough.
TV dinner nigga to death, instead of you actually crafting the art of food and putting recipes and putting it in the ovens and allowing itself to go through.
Hey, clearly she wasn't thinking this was going to happen when she put her camera on and put this on TikTok. Like, he just put her out there and said, you TV dinnering. So what I'm saying is, you want me to spend quality time with you when I get home from work, and then you didn't put a TV dinner in front of me? Come on now. Like, I'm out working hard. And what was you doing while I was at work working hard? I'm saying quality time is fine, but daggone, there need to be other qualities showing up as well. Ooh.
The process. This shit is the same way. I'm not finna sit up here, man, and you tell me what you want. You want to visit. You want to take trips overseas.
Take
you want
trips
a wedding.
overseas.
You want a new car. You want
New car.
this. You want that. And then you expect me to still have the same drive as I
And
did
energy.
as if it was just me? No.
I believe this is why men don't live as long as women, because men go out and kill themselves trying to get everything they can to get it, to get a woman, to keep a woman. And boy, it's hard to keep them happy, especially if you run in circles making yourself tired, because you have to be the best you at all times. And it sounds like working 14 hours a day is taking a toll on this brother, both his energy and mental abilities, and it sounds like even physical abilities. Let's keep it going.
I'm actually working mine not only to provide my habits, but to provide yours as well. To give you what you think you deserve or what you want.
When you get in a relationship, you become
Sometimes
selfless.
You gotta
you
what the
become
fuck
selfless.
you think I'm being? Selfless. I don't have
That
to
do sound
work.
like selfless if you working 14 hours to provide.
I don't require my life before you then require all this hustling.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. That's exactly what the point that he just made. Most men don't require nothing. Boy, I'm telling you, when I was younger, I could just, and I feel like still today, I could live off of a ramen noodle diet. I'm saying I don't really want to try it, but I'm saying I have, and I could go back to that. I could live as a minimalist, but as a man in a relationship, you can't live as a minimalist because that's not going to happen. I understand this brother's pain. I just don't understand why it seems like we have to be so divided and so different on the things that we think. Like, what is the goal of a relationship? What is the goal? Like, to me, everybody should be working on generational wealth. Trying to, instead of this, I want it now and I want to be happy now. What I'm saying is we should all be working towards joy. Happiness is fleeting. It's only for a moment. But joy, oh my goodness, it's lasting. Just like money is fleeting. It only lasts for a moment. But wealth, it's a difference between being rich and wealthy. And I'm saying most people think they got money. And I'm saying clearly, if this guy's working 14 hours a day, he shouldn't be out here running around trying to provide cars and like, y'all should be figuring out a way to get this man to stop having to work so many hours so he has the energy to sit around and watch a movie with you all day. But if a person is working 14 hours a day, that means he's giving all his thought process to somebody else. That means there's a man out there controlling him. And he's getting controlled for 14 hours a day. And then he comes home and then he's being controlled again. I want you to do X, Y, and Z. This is the number one way to break a man down and him be worth nothing by the end of the day. This is why I believe women outlive men.
It didn't. My life was
didn't
simple.
require all what it do before you. That's why I said when you get in a relationship, you become selfish. So it's stuff that you do.
She's saying it didn't require all this before you, but he just sat there and said that she is bringing him TV dinners. What did your like before? Before somebody else was in your life, what were you eating then? What were you eating then? Maybe TV dinners.
That I didn't have to do before getting with you, and same on vice versa. So you sitting up
so why you complaining about me working and
I'm not
doing
complaining
things
about you working
to bring this shit to fruition
I'm not complaining
that you
about
asking
you
me
working.
for?
What I'm asking
You
you is
saying
can
I'm
you spend more
tired?
quality time with me?
Man, listen. Quality time, what you think that is?
You don't do nothing but come in
It's
there
24 hours
and go
in
to
a day.
sleep.
After working 14 hours a day, what do you think a person is going to do when they come home? And that's what I'm saying. Why are they not trying to figure out a plan so this man don't have to work 14 hours a day? It's just a thought process of, I want some attention when you get home. It's like, well, if you want some attention, let's make some sacrifices here. Let's be a team. If you want some attention, let's get rid of one of these cars that you say you want. Let's get rid of some of these vacations that you say you want. If you can do that, then we could have some free time. That's what I was talking about was it yesterday when we were talking about finances and car payments? I'm saying the more you like, it's two ways to increase your income. And one of them is not actually increasing your income, it's decreasing your outgo. So you can increase your income and you can decrease your outflow. That means cut some of your bills. Maybe y'all living in a house that's too big. Maybe I got too many cars that you don't need. Maybe I done took too many vacations. It's a whole lot of things that go into this that is not just I want. I'm saying figure out a way to make that man not have to work 14 hours a day, and then he might have some time for you. But to hear somebody complain about you not having time to do the things that I want you to do after he done went out and did that same thing for somebody else for 14 hours to provide, that don't seem like you wanting to work as a team. Let's keep going.
I fix you something to eat, feed you, you take a bath,
Because
you go
I'm
to sleep.
tired from working.
Damn, so what your life gonna be sitting around just working?
If you set up her,
Hey, what I'm saying is, if that man didn't have any responsibilities of anybody else, that 14 hours a day would only be for a limited amount of time. I'm saying, if this is why I tell men, especially, I'm a barber. I own a barbershop. I talk to the men in my chair while I'm cutting their hair, to be clear. What I'm saying is, if you put your grind in early, and this is what I encourage people to do. You got to learn how to invest in yourself and invest in your wealth, invest in your health. I'm saying, get your grind on early and put that money somewhere. Don't live off of the money you work hard for. After you work hard, make your money work hard for you. Let your money do what it do. I'm saying, I'm trying to give y'all a clue. Invest your money in something and don't invest it in trying to make someone else happy. Men, what I'm saying is, establish yourself to be a person who does not have to be out there working 14 hours a day to try and give somebody what they want. Establish yourself. This is how I believe it should be. You should establish yourself, get the house that you feel like you can afford. Don't let nobody come in and tell you what to do with your finances. I want a bigger house. What I'm saying is, buy the house you feel like you can afford. Establish the life that you feel like you can sustain. And then welcome somebody into your life who values the things that you can provide. Not someone who is constantly trying to tell you, I want more. I want more. Especially if they are not contributing to the wanting of more. And everybody has room to complain about things that they want from a relationship. Everybody. You can't think that one person is providing everything and the other I'm saying, I guess in some relationships, there are one-sided relationships where one person is doing work and the other person is not. But what I'm saying is, I'm sure that he has complaints too, but he's not in the moment of getting to voice his complaints. But I heard several of them. He said that I'm upset because after working 14 hours a day, I come home to a TV dinner. That's not a winner. That's the signs of a beginner. And I'm saying, ooh, they ain't getting it here. Let's keep going.
Had a nigga that spent more time at the house, you will have a problem with that.
Facts.
It ain't no pleasing you.
That's
if I'm
not
at
true.
if I'm at the
why
house,
why you taking?
If I'm at the motherfucking house, it will be a problem. Now that
That's
I'm
facts.
from the house, it's still a problem because
Facts.
I'm trying to go. The more I'm from the house, is me putting in time and work to compensate these trips and all these other things you want. And if I was
killing
at the
himself
house
trying to make
and
her
I
happy, and it still
what
ain't
your
making her happy.
Dreams and admirations and shit wasn't matching
Dreams
my
and
hustle,
admirations.
you would really have an issue because I'm always at the house
You trying
willing
to
to
make
watch
it
TV.
seem as though I'm having an issue
You
with you
do.
working. You trying to make it seem like
See, she ain't got a problem with him working. She got a problem with after he worked, he don't want to spend no time with her. That ain't flying.
How else would I be tired?
Stanley, I'm talking about you sitting up there spending quality time with me. We can do in the house.
I work 6 days a week.
You constantly talking about
This man just said he works 6 days a week too. That means he got 1 day off. Oh my goodness. He working 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. And she complaining about him not having time. Let's just be clear. How many hours are left over after a person in work 14 and then you're trying to get 8 hours of sleep? What I'm saying is there's not much room for him to have any time to himself. He only got 1 day off a week. I get it. She wants time. But what is she willing to sacrifice to make that time available? That's what I'm saying. Can he cut back a day out of work and still maintain their life? It looked like they're sitting in a nice car right now and she the one behind the wheel. Oh,
You working,
the audacity.
So you're not listening
That's
to
a
what I'm
big
saying.
component of why I'm tired.
Okay,
Making
so what I just
sacrifices in
supposed to do,
relationships.
just
Who's the one making
supposed to be
sacrifices right
patient.
now? 14 hours a day.
Sacrifice. Chill. Relax. You got a life outside of me? Go hang out with your friends.
Who
Go
said
hang.
I want to do that all the time?
But if you sit up here and you want me to do two things that is impossible for me to do, be at home
And
to
be at
spend
work.
time with you while simultaneously make money, which gonna require me.
See, this is where I come into it and I say, men, you cannot have a woman control your time and your resources. They want you to have resources, but then they don't want to give you time to go out and establish those resources. It has to be a give and take. Now, there has to be now I'm saying I'm not just trying to choose one side of this argument, but I am a man. I'm coming from the man's perspective because I understand his point of view. But I'm not trying to discount what she's saying. I'm not. I'm saying she does need time. But now the conversation should really look like, and they're both kind of being defensive right now. And I can understand why, because it seems like they're being put on the spot. And the fact that they put this on TikTok makes it even more of a defensive situation, if you ask me. But where's the compromise here? What can we take out of our lives so that I can work less? But that's not where they're talking at all right now.
To be from home in order to give you everything you asked me for. That's why
I will
I'm telling
not
you,
work
there's a
myself
life
to
outside
death to
of
provide
me.
anything.
Go hang with your friends and shit.
Not working myself to death.
And to the time being, bruh. Like I can't sit up here and be at the house and expect money and all these things to just fall in a nigga lap. That ain't how this shit work.
It's not. You better get on YouTube, brother.
If it's just in the street for you to go off and be with somebody else, do
I
that.
don't want to be with
But I'm
nobody
trying to
else.
make it
That's
seem
why
like I'm not
I do
doing
not want to be with
She wanna
nobody
change
else.
him.
That's why I'm constantly saying something to you.
Well, man,
Even if we do in-house dating, even if it's just, babe, let's watch a movie together tonight.
What's wrong with sitting at that? What's wrong with being bored?
Watching a movie together that you already watched the TV. What is you saying?
After working 6 days a week, I want to watch what I want to watch.
Hey, okay. Hear this out. So she could possibly be spending time with him, because if she's saying he watching TV and you want to spend time with him, why not walk in the room and watch what he's watching? Clearly, you have all the time to watch whatever you want to watch whenever he's not around. He's gone 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. You can watch all your favorite TV shows then. If you want to spend quality time with that brother, why not go in and watch what he's watching? If he's tired, why not help out and say, you know what? I'm just going to come in here, not trying to bother you, but I want to sit down and spend time with you. So I'm going to lay on your chest and watch what you're watching. But I'm sure that's not the case. What happens is she want to watch, let me pick out the movie and you watch what I want to watch. And then if he fall asleep on the movie, it still ain't going to be good enough. Hold on. Let's keep it going.
I want to watch what I want to watch. Why you can't find liking in things that I want to watch? They're going to sue me.
I've been
there it
doing
was
this
right
the
there.
whole time.
See, you do this right here. This your problem.
How?
Ooh, now that was a
So
little
me
harsh.
doing
You do
this,
all this.
how is this do that go with me expressing myself and how I feel?
She should be able
about
to
our
express herself,
relationship, how I
but
feel about
she got to be
you.
more realistic
How
in what
does
she's
that
asking
go?
for, in my
You
opinion.
don't know what's real, and you don't know what's going on.
I do know what's real.
So,
but
okay,
I know
so
my
you
feelings
just don't give
real
a fuck
too.
about me then.
That's facts.
It's
She gonna
all
work him to
about
death.
you. Because
Man,
after
this is
telling you what's going on and what's real, you still sitting there
See,
talking about
if he was
you,
cheating or spending
and
time out
and
in the
for some
streets
reason,
kicking it,
the
I can
reason
see
why
what
I'm
she's
tired is
saying.
because
But
of
this
you.
brother working
Because
14 hours a
you
day,
want all
6
this
days a week.
extravagant bullshit.
Okay, well
Like,
then X out all
let's make
that
it so we
then.
don't have to do this
I don't
long.
want none of that. I just want time with you. Then
See,
what?
you women say
I don't
one
want
thing,
because
and then you do something totally
you trying
different.
to make it. You trying to put it solely on me. I don't want.
See, she just sat there and said, I don't want none of this. I just want to spend time with you. Now, as soon as that car gets sold, as soon as all the luxuries get taken out the picture, is that still going to be the true statement? Because what I'm saying is, off of that statement right there, it just said, brother, you could step back to 10 hours a day and say 4 hours every day. Go find you a job where you can work 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. But how I view it, while you are young, you should be putting in every hour you could put in towards getting your situation straight. That's the way to be great. I'm saying this is the type of stuff I hate. You can't do two things that are the opposites and expect. What I'm saying is work hard, play hard. That is the way to have your wheels spinning and burn your tires out. Work hard, play hard. If you work hard, you should work hard. You should work hard and stack. And then once you get an income that's coming in that you don't have to work so hard for no more, that's when you can start enjoying life a little bit. You should not start enjoying life while you are working hard for it. All these people going out here taking vacations and buying cars that they can't afford, trying to look like something you are not, it is going to keep you in that cycle forever. I'm saying, let's be a little more clever.
All of that then.
Well, before you came in my life, it was simple. My life was very simplistic.
Yeah, get a little more complex the more people get added to it.
My life was simple too. Everybody life be simple before they bring a person in their life.
Before you coming around talking all this, man, going overseas, traveling and doing all this.
See, that's the thing. He trying to keep up with the Joneses or keep up with her.
Because you speaking about doing it.
Okay.
I can go down to New Orleans and eat some gumbo. I'm good.
Okay.
If it's only
The problem is they didn't solve nothing with this conversation.
This is crazy. I see now we do not have the same vision or the same. We done grew apart.
Just go find you somebody, man, they can please you. Cause I ain't here for it. You ain't finna run
And
me
that's
in
the thing.
early
I'm not
grave.
even trying to find nobody else. I want it from you.
What I'm telling you to.
All right.
Hey, that was horrible how they ended that. Clearly, they did not come to a good resolve in this conversation. This is the last video, but this one kind of strikes a little bit of a nerve for me, because what I'm saying is this is the type of thing that leads to a relationship not working out, and there is no compromise in this situation. I did not hear any compromise, and they're saying making sacrifices in relationships, but I did not see any sacrifices being made to solve the problem. I guess what I'm saying is you have to sit down and come up with a plan. And this is what I mean. They had good conversation, but they didn't have good conversation to resolve anything. She spoke how she felt. He spoke how he felt, but no one tried to resolve. I think that is what lacks in a lot of relationships, is people stand their ground on what they want, but no one is really making the sacrifice of he expressed his point, she expressed her point, but who gave in that situation? Who gave in that situation? They both ended up saying, go somewhere else to find what you want. They basically said they were splitting up. Hey, I done ran long on this video. Hey, I'm glad today was one of those days I had a few more people watching than normal. I guess relationship content is, one, it's a little easier because most people deal with relationships. Most people deal with money too, but they don't want to talk about that one. We're going to talk more about that because I believe that if you establish yourself correctly, you don't have to deal with some of these issues right here. If you establish yourself, a lot of people don't put forth the work effort. I was happy to hear this brother say that he works 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, but it sounds like he's doing the wrong thing with that money after he makes it. It sounds like he's trying to keep her happy and noticing that trying to keep someone else happy is a fleeting look. Trying to keep yourself happy is already a fleeting thing. That's what I was saying. Happiness is fleeting. It only lasts. And it's like happiness is like sparks. Happiness is like sparks. That's it. But daggone joy is like a fire. It stays burning. And that's what I'm saying. You have to find your joy and your happiness before you allow somebody else into the picture. You have to have a goal set for yourself and then say, would you like to participate in the journey with me? I do believe that a lot of times we work twice as hard as we need to. Look, I don't want to go too long with this. What I'm saying is people need to learn how to be more giving instead of always asking for what they need in return. It's not always going to work that way. You're not always going to get what you want out of a relationship. And it takes very, very big people to understand, hey, this is a team. If he out here working 14 hours a day, what can I do to make life better for him when he comes home? But instead, I heard, you working all those hours, you giving me all this stuff, but that's not what I want. But then you're asking for those things because he just sat here and said he don't want to go on no vacations and trips. He don't want to be buying all these cars. I bet you they living above their means. And then if you add debt into that on top of it, it just makes for more stress. This sounds like a stressful situation. And the way to get out of that is, one, in the beginning, finding someone who thinks about things the way that you do. And two, learning how to communicate so that it's not like a blame game every time you sit down and have conversation. Blaming the other person is not going to win you points. And doing tit for tats definitely won't bring you points. Hey, I was only supposed to be on here an hour and I'm almost on here 2 hours, but this one was easy and it was good. I like doing this relationship content. One day I'm going to try and get some other people on here to bring some points that, because I feel like my thought process might be one-sided. I have some very unique ways of thinking about things, and everybody ain't going to see them the way that I think. And I understand that. So I'm going to do more of this kind of content because I really enjoyed this one. It was easy. I've been trying to get to an hour and here it is. I done almost got to 2, but we're going to let it do what it do. Hey, I just want to say thank you for everybody who tuned in and watched this one because this one was a good one to me. And I'm saying every day, I feel like I'm getting better and better and better. And we're going to continue this process. I'm not going to say try. I will be here, Lord willing. I will be here again tomorrow, and I'm going to shoot for another hour. I do not know what tomorrow's topic is going to be. If you want me to look into a topic, drop me a comment on this video after I am done with it, because any comments that I see, I will go ahead and reply to them. If you have a particular subject that you would like me to talk about, leave me a comment. If you're liking this kind of material, hey, leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe, all that good stuff, and hit that post notifications. I don't normally do stuff like that, but I'm about to start getting into it. I thank everybody who tuned in. If you rock with me this long, I greatly appreciate it, and I never expect anything. I appreciate everybody who be rocking with me. Hey, I got nothing else to say. Much respect, much love. Hey, this your boy, and we out.